You listen TWOC, The Way of Cosmopolites, a podcast from Cosmopolites for Cosmopolites. My name is Gala, born and raised in Saxony, Germany. My podcast partner is Kelley. He's from the United Kingdom. You ask, what is a cosmopolite? Well, the term comes from the ancient Greek linguistic, and it stands for global citizenship, which means that your allegiance and concerns belongs to humanity and nature in general, and not to geographic borders, which means also that you carry an universal morality, an obligation in you to help all humans, regardless of their nationality. It goes together with a cultural openness, and that there's an eagerness to experience, respect, and learn from diverse cultures. And of course, the understanding that world problems require collective, global solutions. Eb and I produced this podcast, which speaks from our life experience and the great people we meet along the way in a rapidly changing world. It seems that divides get bigger and that hate, racism, bigotry, xenophobia are on the rise again. But we have to start to learn from our intolerance in the past, and we have to care again. In our lives, we build a great community and friendships with amazing people all over the world. The more I learn and I care, I understand we have just this one planet, and we are all connected. So, no matter where you are right now and listen to this podcast, or what you have to go through, please understand that the world isn't that big like it seems sometimes, and there are good, caring persons all over the world. And if you want to make a difference in this world, it will appear in a different light. So, let's jump into the episode and keep in mind, we are all citizens of this world and our paths are intertwined. Hey there, you listen to the first episode of The Way of Cosmopolites. We both sit here in our home studio in Europe, and it's really hot. Not because we are hot. Well, Kelley is. I wouldn't say this about me. I meant the weather, of course, especially last June was incredibly hot here in Europe. However, Kelley, tell us something about you and how you end up here.
Well, I'm from England and you're from Germany, and we both have similar views, it seems, about world events and world happenings. We talk about politics and Trump. He's been up to stuff today, hasn't he?
Yeah, the right wing is calling very loud their hate again in the world.
He's just declared a ceasefire over with Iran, and he's going to unleash his fury upon Iran again. Yeah, that's what I heard. I get my news mainly from BBC. I'm not even someone that looks up and researches on the internet because it's too confusing. But even with that, I'm very disturbed with the way things are going.
I guess it's a very interesting time right now.
Yeah, the Worldcup, he got involved in that, didn't he? And there was shouts of corruption because Trump got involved with the American team. It just amazes me that Trump got in the first place. Do you know what I mean? I find it incredible. Like, I find it incredible that the Americans would vote him in again. I put a £50 bet on with my friend.
That Harris will win. Yeah.
To see that, Kamala Harris would win. And he said, no, Trump will win. And he was right. He's a good gambler. But I had no idea that people felt that way about people. It's so negative. It's so negative to feel
I guess it has a lot to do with the history of America. And there's a lot of racism going on in America.
There's a lot of racism going on in England.
In Germany too. This is the reason why we make this podcast, right? I mean, we are afraid. We see the change again, and
yeah, we do.
I need to say, to my situation, I live in Saxony, Germany, which is really the part where the right wing gets a lot of votes and where the AfD is very, very strong.
Yeah.
And you can practically feel the hate in the air, especially if you are a liberal person. I mean, I know situations where they spit you in the face, where they call you names, all of this, yeah. These are my experience, but I'm still in a comfortable situation. My partner, for example, is from Brazil, and when she's in Germany, then you see this even more, these attacks, because I guess you're in a comfortable situation if you are in a first world country and you have white skin and you
it's true.
You speak their language, whatever, yeah. But I guess you see the hate even more
Yeah, you do.
when you see how they act with migrants.
Yeah. In Ireland, there was a terrible stabbing, but people blamed it instantly on the fact that he was black and an immigrant, and then they rioted in the streets. Like it's just prevalent now. This feeling that even though I live comfortably, I do live comfortably. I agree with you like that. I do live comfortably. I've got a computer, I've got a TV, I've got everything I need. It's just people are so bitter about what others have. And they don't have a lot, generally, immigrants. They don't have a lot.
Exactly. This is this kicking, the kick down. It's very interesting to see how some right-wing movements are actually pulled on. Yeah.
Whereas they think that leaders of left-wing groups are dishonest. They seem to believe the right wing are honest. That they were interviewing people on the beach with Nigel Farage's party, Reform, because he's just stood down and he's going to get re-elected probably easily because no one will stand against him. But he's going to get in anyway because people believe that he tells the truth. Whereas left-wing parties seem to be viewed as liars, and I don't know. It's just bizarre.
I mean, here in Germany, with the AfD, where they say they do everything for the workers and all of this, but when you look in their programs, there's no social points, the weaker ones, or for the people who have less money. So there exist not really big social programs, and when you confront them with this, they always take the big curve back to people who moved here, and point out, they're criminals and they do this and this and this. So there's not really a program behind, and it's so interesting that Germans fall again into it. And I was pretty sure some years ago that we learned from our history here in Germany, what we brought into the world, what we gave to other countries, the war, the fascism, and all of this. This hate which came especially from here, from this point out. And I was wrong in a way that a lot of people are, just falling into this again.
Yeah, it's the same in England. We should have learned from that war. It was almost a proud moment for Britain standing up to fascism, and now we see embracing it, which is shocking. It's like all the things that we talk about that makes Britain great, we just want to throw on the fire. We seem to believe these right-wingers, and we have done throughout my life. That's the thing. I'm really disenchanted with the world because we've had Tory governments most of my life, and they've been shocking. Labour have been pretty shocking as well, to be fair. Labour, the left-wing government, but they're better than the right wings, who are just liars and cheats and just to feather their nest. People do it. You know, we've got a monarchy in England. That's so backward.
Just a bit.
It is. It's so backward. And we're meant to be a leader of the world, and it's so backward.
What's more shocking for me is here in Germany that we have really parties who say practically the same what the Nazis said in the past, yeah. And we have this memorial places in Germany. You know, from what I speak from the KZs, the most murderous machines we had in Europe. 6 million dead people. And when I speak of 6 million dead, I'm referring specifically to Jewish victims of the Shoah. In Hebrew, this word translates directly to the catastrophe or the ruin. These humans were systematically targeted and murdered in the most horrific ways imaginable by the Nazi regime. The total death toll of all victims persecuted and killed by Nazi Germany is actually much higher, estimated to be between 11 and 17 million people. To understand the full scale of this tragic, we must look at the other groups systematically targeted by the regime. This staggering total includes 3 million Soviet prisoners of war who were executed or starved to death. It includes 1.8 million non-Jewish Polish civilians. It includes between 250,000 and 500,000 Roma and Sinti who were targeted for racial extermination. It includes up to 250,000 people with physically and mental disabilities murdered under the euthanasia programs. On top of these systematic executions, over 800,000 people lost their lives to deliberate forced starvation inside the camps in sealed ghettos. And just like an example, there was AfD supporters which are severely disrupted a guided tour of the Sachsenhausen concentration camp by relativizing Nazi crimes and drawing comparisons to the crimes of the Allies. And like I say, this was on a guided tour through a concentration camp where we should sing and honor the victims of the Holocaust. This is so...
Yeah, it is shocking. It's shocking.
It's insane, and there's a huge wave they spread in the internet with their TikToks, with all of this. And this is what I talked last time with someone, that we see this actually really upcoming with TikTok, that poisons the air, it poisons the brains, and
people aren't ashamed of being racist anymore. I've seen that. They're not ashamed of saying that they hate blacks, or got more brown people in England, I suppose, that cause a big issue in England. It's like the Arabs or the Pakistanis, or it seems to be them that get it in the neck more than anyone else. It just seems to be the way it is. And Islamophobia, it's complicated. Just know that I don't want us to go down the line of just separating people all the time just because of the colour of their skin and their social, their economic. Well, what should we do?
I spoke last time at someone, what you can do is, of course, you can go demonstrate in the streets. I have a huge respect of people who do this. Yeah. Because we sit here comfortable in our home studio, let's call it like this. But it's a bigger risk to go out on the street, of course.
It is a bigger risk. It is a bigger risk.
Guess,
you get arrested.
Exactly.
You get your profile taken. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You become an enemy of the state.
I have a friend in Russia, and before the war started, he was already someone who spoke very out loud his meanings, and I have huge respect from this. And after the war started, he continued doing this, and this is practically a poker in your own life under this regime which Putin runs. And and I have no contact with him since a while, and we was always close almost every day, and for a while, and kind of things worries me. And this is exactly what I mean. How can we dare right now on this time with what is going on right in front of our door with Russia? We see the fascism growing again in fact, and what fascism brings, it leads to wars, it leads to death, it leads to bigger divide between poor and rich. And we see all of this practic in front of our eyes. And anyway, here in Germany, where we live, very comfortable. And if you ever lived in a third world country, you will agree with me. I mean, we have still a good health system. We have a lot of luxus, and people here are saying things like, here in East Germany, they are really much like, I like Putin, and I like the regime and all of this. This is shocking. It's like, you think like, go there, go to Russia. I mean, we have the cities, we have Moscow, we have St. Petersburg. These are the cities they show. A lot. So if there are international guests which get invited from Russia, they get into this city because these are the show-off cities. But if you go in the other cities, if you go in the tiny villages, you will see many houses have toilets outside, like holes. You make your business, your private business into a hole practically. So it's very interesting, how this regime is showing the poor, and we are so patriotic, for the people. But the truth is that these people have palaces. These people give nothing about the poor people, And the same as when you read this AfD program here in Germany. And I guess it's very similar with the right wing in Britain or in other countries. We see this everywhere in the world right now.
Yeah, we do. We see it going on everywhere. But especially in Europe, like Europe seems to be, I don't know, very intolerant. And it's making decisions to sort of elect people that are, well, I call them fascists, really. They do seem to be fascists. They want to strip the state completely and control absolutely. And it's like, we haven't done things like that. That's not the way, it's not the way it should be done.
What was the point when you saw that here's something changing from your worldview from Britain? Was there a point where you thought like, now it's getting radical?
It's been a struggle since I was a kid. First we had Thatcher. It's just been one struggle after the other. Just people that don't seem to care about other people. And minorities and the poor and nobody seems to care about the poor, which is essentially what immigrants are a lot of the time. They are poor, and we've had we've just had so many governments where they just don't care about the poor. In the countries they are, even though we do, like, I am actually a poor person in a rich country. I'm relatively poor, but compared to Africa or you said Russia, I've got plenty. So I know that I'm lucky in some ways. I'd happily take a cut in my income to help people out from abroad. Do you know what I mean? I would happily take, share what we have in the first world to try and create a better world. Because we're not doing it at the moment. But we can't go on just believing we're right all the time. We're right. The Brits are right about everything. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. It's just can't be done. The Americans think it as well. Like loads of people think they're right. They've got this messiah complex where they think they're the right ones because there was an empire, a famous, celebrated empire, and that's the way it should go back to almost. People seem to think that was progress. And it kind of was in railways, but it wasn't in treating people as humans. We didn't treat people from other cultures as humans. We treated them like really cruelly. And that's the way we shouldn't be going. And that's why I think people need to, we do need to stand up somewhere along the line. It's hard to do, though.
It's really a society question also, like what we stand as a society for, Of course, you will always have the powerful. You will always have the people who are in power. And right now, these are pretty much people which also rule the internet. And if you think about persons like Elon Musk and all this hate which people like this spread in the internet and
Elon
how
Musk
much power they also have, call it like this. But I guess the society is running a lot of the things with, we as people, we could do more, like you say already. It's still a way of post-colonialism active. The way how we make holidays in third world countries, in places which are actually stolen from the people who live there. How we act with native people in first world countries like America, for example. What happens if you call it a first world country? If you look the center of America, how people live here, I don't know.
Yeah,
they are very poor, But how is still the world built? Like you say, the white, rich people, the white, powerful first world people.
They are incredibly powerful. There's not many of them either, are there?
How they always ruled the world and how we still, ride with this, how we still let this happen. I don't know. We can also shortly talk about ICE, if this is okay for you, the organization in America, which
I forgot.
Should kick immigrants out, and we had dead people shoot. I spoke with a person from USA. She left the country right at the time, I guess, before Trump became really in power again, the second time now. Where everyone said already, like, before he comes in power, Project 25 is a realistic project which comes directly from his circle of people. And he was always denying it, of course, the typically Trump move. But we saw it coming, and then ICE began to shoot their own people on their own streets. And when you see a lot of MAGA people, the supporters of Trump, how they still support him. There are dead people on the streets, people which had the US passport. Not that there is a difference. Nobody should be shot by a government, of course. But from their worldview, so patriotic, but then shooting their own citizens, right? It is so contradicted. It is so. And right now, that's why maybe it's a good time we make also this podcast right now with the sport event which we see going on in America.
I struggle with the patriotism thing. I do struggle with it. It's really tricky. It's like I do find myself supporting an English person in sport, but part of me is disgusted by what England is doing around the world, and because we're continuing trying to dominate people. My brother was a metal dealer in London, still is, and he said that he destroyed the economy of Peru one day, and he was quite proud of that because he made money for his clients. But he destroyed the economy of
this is
Peru
capitalism
on devaluing copper. So it was like, this is disgusting. Just because it's all well and good to talk about people making money, but it's got to come from somewhere. And if you're taking off a third world country, well, I don't know if Peru's third world. It can't be rich though. It's not a rich country. And to destroy the economy of a poor country like that, it's just, and that's my brother, and he must have felt comfortable saying that. He's a Farage supporter. And I just don't know what to do about it, because it's like he seems to think he's got this, he's just so stupid. So stupid. He's obviously very good at his job, but his awareness of what it costs people to make a few quid.
But I guess because you say this right now, yeah, your personally circle, your family circle, where we can make a change is exactly there. The people we speak every day, the people we meet every day.
I've tried to talk to them. But
you know, Kev, this is what I mean. Change we can bring, you know. It's your decision. If you spread love, if you open your heart, open your mind, you know, try to understand first the person, and then see what you both have in common. I mean, we all have something in common. We are all born in this world. No one asked us. We was 9 months in someone's swamp. We are born somewhere, and we didn't choose where. We both won the lotto, and we are born in a first world country. But there are a lot of people who are not. And it's our responsibility how we speak and what we bring into this world. When you say this example with your brother, I go to a similar examples in my family where I had to break up contact, where I think they became so radical, you know. And this is what I said before. TikTok gives so fast answers.
Shouldn't just be used for like a force for fascism.
I think this is going on, you know. I mean, the oldest parties, they use this a lot because they know, okay, in 2 minutes, I can build a picture which is definitely not the reality, but people will believe it because they have not much time.
I barely ever use TikTok. You know, I don't use much social media, to be quite frank, because I got scared off by it, by Facebook. Facebook scared me with the popularity contest that goes on Facebook and how many likes you get and how popular you are. It upset me. And I stayed off social media pretty much, play my computer games, as you say, just try not to get too involved in other people's business, because it seems everyone's got. It could depend on my mood. My mood, I can be so angry about this situation that we're talking about. But at the moment, because I'm well fed and I just had a cup of tea, I'm all right. But I can get really upset about this. It's so angry.
The most British sentence. I had a cup of tea. Kev, what I wanted to say is, what I know from people which went into this direction, they search for fast answers on complicated topics, like you cannot explain colonialism and what came out of it in a 2 minutes short video. But this is what these right-wing parties do a lot. They use this tool because they can spread their hate on an easy way. Many times I have the situations that I spoke with family members where I broke the contact today, and I say to them, did you listen to the entire speech of this person from this right-wing party? And they said like, no, but here's the short, so yeah. And they didn't even listen to the entire speech, where comes a lot of hate into it, where this person spread a lot of hate. But in the short, of course, they cut it like this, that it sounds comfortable and that they think this person is fighting for the workers or for the poor. And it's definitely not.
Yeah, they seem to think they're fighting for them, which is mad. It's the madness I can't understand. It's like loads of the poor support these people. The very poor in this country support.
They vote them, right?
They vote them. They support them. The very much the underclass believe in them. That they hope they'll change things for the better. And I understand that they want change for the better because they are very poor in this country. Some people, but my mum used to say they haven't been educated. That's what my mum used to say. Like, she say education. It's like left-wing politics involve raising everyone up and bringing some people down. And that's what I've always believed, that left-wing politics are meant to do that. Share it, share out the wealth. And right-wing politics is about hoarding wealth for the very rich and sod the poor. Do you know what I mean? Let them work all the hours God sends. Let them struggle. We don't care because we succeeded, because they're the lucky ones. It's not civilized at all. It doesn't seem civilized to behave like that. But people keep voting them in. We just got Trump. He's someone that is that model, and he's so disrespectful of so many people.
His language, his activities. I mean, if you look into the football right now, what I can't understand is the hype. Like I said before, in Germany, a lot of people cancelled when it was in other states, which was going against women rights, which was anti-feministic, But today, the host is bombing kids, women. We have 40,000 injured kids in Gaza, yeah?
It's the old Colosseum trick, though, what the Bromans used to use, like this World Cup, like Wimbledon that we get in England. We get Wimbledon every year. It's like the Colosseum. It's like, let's watch these people, these gladiators fight it out, and we will celebrate them if they succeed. And that's all it is. And I like the football. I like Wimbledon. I know that a lot of people don't. I meet people all the time that hate the football, but like, I personally like the football, but within limits. I do know that I'm being fed a kind of drug. I do realise that I'm watching mainstream media and being fed a drug to sort of feel something. And I watch all the matches. I don't just watch the England matches. I watch all the matches because I'm intrigued in the different cultures. I think cultures should be celebrated. Different cultures should be celebrated. But it's difficult. It's difficult. Like, this is going back years, but when England went to war with Argentina, that was like, what's going on? Do you know what I mean? It's like, this is Argentina and this is England going up, fighting over these little islands. But it got the whole country excited. The whole country went behind the military, and they celebrated the military. They celebrated them, and they still do. They be the best advert, be the best you can be. The military, they're all designed to make you want to serve your country. Patriotism isn't such a bad thing, but it goes too far sometimes. Like, there's this young lad that was a soldier that I sort of knew, and he was fed brainwashing information to kill Arabs. That's what it was. Hate Arabs. That was he. And they shot Jeremy Corbyn, who's if you don't know, he's a Labour Party man who was left wing.
Yeah.
But they used to put him on bullet boards and shoot his face because. And that's the armed forces. They're the people that we're meant to be celebrating. These people that hate left-wingers.
Yeah.
Because I studied Arabic when I was a kid, and I wanted to make peace with the Arabs. I always admired their culture, the pyramids. I didn't know much about it, but I admired it. I admired the culture.
Yes, you was in Egypt, right? You was in Egypt for a while, you said, right?
Yeah, I was, yeah. I was. And I admired their culture. And I realised how poor they are in that country. I realised there are millions, there was as many people in that country as there are
absolutely
in
interesting linguistic language too.
It was a good language. It was a good language as well. It really was logical. But learning about, the little bit I learned about the culture was, they're just like us. Do you know what I mean? They're just like us. They've got slightly different ways of doing things, but they're essentially the same as us. They're just poorer. They were a lot poorer, you know. It was 5 Egyptian pounds to a pound, which is a lot. But back then it was a lot. They couldn't leave their country because they wouldn't have the money.
Yeah, this is the point.
Yeah,
also,
they don't have the money in the first place to be able
also,
to
when
do
conservative parties from here speak about this, they don't see the point under which pressure these people live every single day. Yeah, the heave system, the social system, all the things which are missing there, and how dare we to say, yeah, it's weird that they want to come here and all of this, yeah. I mean, how dare we? It's like, we live so comfortable here that we don't even, we lost the view on what is really going on in the world.
Egypt was quite beautiful in its own stark desert-like way. It was quite a beautiful place, and I don't think people wanted to leave because there was quite a lot of good things there. I think somehow we've got to get a spread of money. We've got to grow up and realise we can't have it all our own way in our countries. We've got to share. We've got to.
If you like to share, you will see at the end of each episode we introduce always a different great project where you can become part of something bigger. You can support like this people who need it most. If you'd like to subscribe or hit the like button, we would be very happy. And if you listen to us on Spotify, just lean back and enjoy the rest of the episode.
They've stopped the international aid in this country. I don't know if you knew that. We always used to give a bit of aid money, something like 2% of the economy to poor countries. But now we stop that because
Germany is still doing this a lot, you know, but it is all in danger right now.
We need to get money spread around the world as much as we can. Instead of hoarding it, everyone's hoarding it.
I guess that's why the way of the cosmopolites, how we call this podcast here, can change a lot by ourselves when we just open our mind a tiny bit and understand there's a person who feels very similar like us, like they have fear that the good ones, that the people around them, their family members, their friends get hurted. So we have the same fear, we have similar feelings. And I guess when we open a bit more up and spread these meanings, then we can make already a change. There are a lot of lonely people out there. There are a lot of people which are confused by this hate which is going on. And I guess every one of us can make this tiny step. Yeah, because we spoke about money right now, but on the other side, like,
well, it's not just money. But
exactly,
money
this is what I mean.
Money's hard currency, and that would maybe.
I guess the real currency is in our hearts. This is what we spread out, you know. And when you can move toward this money, then even better, of course. But I guess it starts with this.
It's very difficult, though, isn't it? Letting go of money. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't like. That's the thing. It's very hard letting go of money. If you've got it, you don't want to let go of it, and it's obvious that's the case because there are billionaires out there who don't need the money, but they continue to accumulate it, and they don't feel like they've got enough. They still don't feel they've got enough, even though they've got billions.
They have the support from the government.
Understand
the way how they need to pay taxes. It starts with this already. Imagine they would pay taxes like people in the middle class, or poor workers. Imagine they would pay the same amount of percent.
Apparently.
Yeah, but
before Thatcher,
in Germany, not
Thatcher,
unfortunately. Yeah.
Thatcher changed it. Thatcher started this in England. Anyway, we had a much more, like I've heard, we taxed the rich quite severely. There couldn't be this massive disparate class. Makes me angry sometimes. does make me angry, because I remember the famine of the Live Aid famine. I don't know, the famine of Ethiopia. That was when I was very young, and I thought, people are dying like flies out there. And we gave money, and hopefully it improved things. And it was but we need to do that more. We need to help. It's Africa that worries me the most, because Africa has got lot of natural resources, and we're just pillaging it now for mobile phones and electric batteries. And there's always some kind of war in Africa. There's always something. Mind you,
It is
there's a war in
interesting.
Europe.
For me, it was a wake-up moment when I understood that 70% of the soy and grain in this world gets put in to the meat that we in the first world can eat meat, you know, and that this is the reason why people starve in Africa. I became way too late vegan, or I tried to be vegan. I need to say I have morbus Crohn. I had a spondylosis, my spine, so I'm on 16 bone stiff. So I know the feeling of how disabled people feel, and I guess that's also the reason why I think it's shocking to read that there's a party who say like, inclusion. We don't need inclusion, you know. And this reminds you very hard on this, what the Nazis said, what the Nazis made. I have a
vested interest as well. I have a vested interest.
But Cap, I need really to say, like, when a party like this paints already this line, like, okay, inclusion is not so important. Before they get voted, before they are in power, you know that when they are in power, they will make way worse stuff. You know, this should alarm us. Everything what goes against humanity. Sorry, I made a big jump from veganism to this point, but I guess it's all bound together, you know. I mean, how we see the world and how we let pain happen to the weak ones, like the animals too, you know. I mean, we are just in a powerful point that we can do all of these things, or we can let these things happen. And I guess this is important. What I wanted to say.
Animals is important. Animals is an important issue as well. Definitely. It's valid to bring that up. It's like, we know that they have feelings. We know that they care, that they have lives, and we butcher them.
But it's also the big circle which comes out of it, out of this industry, the meat industry, how it destroys our climate, how it destroys our nature, how it destroys human life. And you can do so much better, I guess. And this is a question about you and me and the society itself. And like I said, I guess the rich will be always playing this game, but it's on us what we let happen, what we let them do.
The only power I have, it seems to have, is a vote. That's the only power I have, it seems, is the vote.
I don't think so. I think it's the way also how we live, how we make holidays, cruise ships the same, for example, or making holidays in third world countries and, supporting the tourism there in a way that people own hotels which are actually on land from native people today, or like we say it right now, how we eat. I think it starts by little things, and I don't say everyone should make the big step, you know, or become vegan or whatever. This is not the message, because I guess many people are also sick and it's not so easy. I see it by myself, like I said, my morbus Crohn disease. So I had also pretty much struggles on the beginning, even if I start way too late to try it. But I guess it's a big start when you open your mind already, and when you call this little thing in you which says, hey, there exists moral, there exists ethic, and you don't need to learn something about it because we have it since we are tiny kids.
Yeah, I don't know how people. It seems to be the majority really in this country. Yeah, they seem so ignorant. I don't know. We've got a famous education system. We're a first world country, but there's a lot of people very ignorant. Like Keir Starmer's just been chucked out, and I think, what's all that about? What's that all about? Though, what is it about? Why was he so hated? Like, he stood up to Trump, and a lot of people applauded him on that. It took him a while, but he did stand up to him in the end with the war in Iran.
The Chancellor of Germany, Merz, he was completely bowing in front of Trump.
Well, so was Starmer. Starmer was like licking his butt, like
it is insane, yeah.
Embarrassing. But then he stood up to him and said, I'm not going to get involved with the war in Iran, and has taken lots of abuse from Trump. Mm-hmm. And I don't quite know why people lost faith with him. I don't understand. People are people, and we're very fickle, it seems. Like, I don't know why we lost faith with Starmer in this country, because he seemed to be improving the equality. And he's got all the stats to prove it. He was improving equality in this country, which is good for everyone. Or not, no, it's not good for the rich, but it's good for most people. And why? I don't understand it, you see. I don't understand why we self-defeat each other. We destroy what we build. We're destructive.
I had similar experience here in Germany with the government before Merz. It was a government between the Green Party, the SPD, this is the Working Party in Germany, and there was another party, the FDP. Never mind about them, but it was interesting. They was also very much hated, and I could also not understand it in many points, because they try to put the focus more on how to save the climate, which is very important. And
it is. We're living through another heat wave again today.
Yeah, we had a minister who went to China and gave there also critics how they deal with the Muslim community, and I thought this was bold, I thought this is, we call us always like, we are Christian countries and we should go back to our Christian roots, but then when it comes to practice, society don't even like this. The society is ashamed of it or whatever. It's really strange.
Literally, I get all my news from the BBC and the television. So I don't read the newspapers, but there's a newspaper in England called The Sun, which is really, really right wing, and it really, really hates the Labour governments. And it's the most popular paper in the country, and it's so negative, and people read it and people believe it. I don't know. I think it should be banned, really, because they're influencing people. They shouldn't be influenced. We had a education. Do you know what I mean? It's like when my mum said we're not educated, I think, well, there was a lot of educated people where I went to school, and then it seems like they just ignore the fact that other people suffer in life.
We started the episode speaking about Trump, so I guess when we stay in America, should I start falling in the big rabbit hole of the one and only Dolly Parton? Should I start obsessing about it?
I watched the documentary about Dolly Parton last night.
I'm the biggest Dollyist in the world. Maybe not, but I try to be
good.
I need to say, because you speak about
funny.
education, and she have this project, Imaginary Library, where she gifts kids books, and this is very important, I guess, especially right now in America, and we can do so many changes, talk little things, I guess, and supporting projects like this is very interesting. What I want to say about Dolly Parton, she comes from Tennessee, the south of America, where a lot of people are pretty much conservative, you can say like this. The same like Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson is from Texas, and also a lot of people are very conservative there, and they make so much change. When you listen to their lyrics, especially in the beginning of their career, in the 60s, 70s, 80s, the lyrics, the things they speak about, like social topics like the baby pill, the racism, all of the things which are critical to speak about in a state like the South States of America, you know, because there's so much hate, there's so much violence. How
so
bold
much misogyny as well.
Yeah.
I was thinking of misogyny. Do you know what I mean?
How bold these artists are, and which change people like Dolly Parton brings. I guess she's a very big cosmopolite icon, because no matter where you go in the world, and you will see a lot of fans who can connect to her. I mean, she has her Christian roots, you know, but on her concerts, you have Muslimic people, you have bikers standing on the side of LGBTQ people, you have a lot of TWOC people love Dolly Parton. I guess she combines a lot of people together, and I guess there's the power of what we can do with our voice.
Those people have power, the artists, don't they?
With our talents.
Those rich, but they are classed as rich as well. They can either help or hinder this progress. Do you know what I mean? It's a responsibility of them, as they've got all the power. They've got all the power, and we need some philanthropists, which you say Dolly Parton is. She's done this book thing, and we need more of that. We need more of that from the powerful.
I guess we have these people. I guess a lot of people have also fear to speak out. I guess a lot of people are still in the comfort zone.
Like Trump and Starmer. Starmer was Prime Minister of UK, and he was like curling up to him. It's like they're natural enemies. They were natural enemies. He's from the Labour Party and he's from the Republican. Why are we perpetuating in England this idea that we can be friends with everyone when you can't? Ideologically, they were so different from each other. If Starmer was to be believed, which I believe he was somebody who wanted to make the difference. You know, I do believe that. And he made some foolish mistakes, but who doesn't? At least he recovered. At least he tried to fix his mistakes. My wife says, anyway, she says that it's a poison chalice anyway, the government in England. She almost wishes like that the Tories would get in again, because then they would be shamed. They wouldn't be able to. But they do more damage. They just continually do more damage in this country.
Yeah. I would call it a day today. I mean, we jumped a lot from topic to topic, I guess. Did. And it was anyway very interesting to hear your view again. What I say, this is what we can do, is like open up, give people hope, and it's the way how we speak to the people which we meet every day, and each of us can make a difference, no matter what you do. If you go to demonstrations, if you make your voice out loud in the internet.
I've got a plan. There's demonstrations as a possibility, but and maybe I'll give some more money to charity. Do you know what I mean?
It's a good start. It's a very good thing.
I'm talking about money and stuff and saying I've got.
But think about influencers in the internet. I mean, I know some liberal people, you know, but there's a huge mass of right-wing hate out there right now. And I guess we can start maybe with a tiny podcast like this one. I hope, and I hope deep in my heart we maybe make a change, and maybe we can dig deeper next time in the next episode about our past. I mean, how we changed our view and how we grew up. Maybe people can connect to this a bit, because I had also some experience of my disease and some Christian religious sect experience I had, where I was dragged in, and it was really heavy times of my life. And maybe we can speak about what made us to cosmopolite people, to people which opened up their minds. There's a history behind, and maybe people can connect to this. So we can do this in the next episode. But today I was very, very glad to have you here in the podcast. Nice, we'll call it a day, and we see us next time. And have a nice day. And all of you who listen to us, we are proud to have you, and we are glad. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. You reached the end of this episode. I know it seems these days like the world gets darker, but some light is also emerging in the moments we stand for our social progress and human rights around the world. In fact, you can make a huge change if you protect and speak for LGBTQ+ individuals, people with disabilities, immigrants in your country, and of course, advocating for the protection of animals and nature. Just let us try to make a change in a wave full of hate. The social project of this episode is the one we mentioned already in this podcast. It is the Imaginary Library. The number of gifted books for children is already by 318,338,104. Dolly Parton started this project because her father couldn't read and write, and it distressed her that he couldn't read. Dolly Parton often remarked that he was an extremely intelligent man, and that this limited his opportunities and dreams. So if you want to support this program, you can do so under donate.imaginationlibrary.com. It is like Cap said earlier, a fair education can make a big difference and give chances to everyone. Let me close the episode with a quote Dolly Parton liked to say: "We cannot direct the wind, but we can adjust the sails." We both say thank you for listening, and I'm sure we see us down the road.